same contagious virus that has claimed the lives of over 200,000 people across the Far East.
We'll bring you any updates on that story as soon as we can.
Going anywhere nice?
New York.
Is that business or pleasure?
Business.
Transport authorities are still trying to recall several passengers who were on board the flight UK009. Fears have grown that the missing passengers who've already left the airport may be contaminated with a deadly virus that's already claimed one life in the UK.
Authorities are remaining cautious after a man collapsed and died in London's King's Cross station. It's believed to be the first confirmed case of the deadly flu virus in the UK.
Modern travel by aircraft is a huge concern because, you're in Hong Kong, you're at the epicenter, of a new outbreak, chicken flu outbreak with SARS. You're feeling all right. You get on the plane. No, I was there a few weeks ago. Get on the plane. 9 hours later, you're walking out of Heathrow, get on the tube system, you're in one of the biggest cities in the world, suddenly you're not feeling too well. You say, jet lag. But you could be spreading a new virus.
The police urgently need to trace all passengers that were on flight UK009. If anyone was on flight UK009 or had a relative or friend on that flight, would they please call the following?
Hi Mum, hope you had a good holiday. I'm trying
to get hold of you. I've tried you on your mobile, but you're not answering. There's been something on the news about your flight, so don't know where you might be at the moment. I'm going to drive over. Can you give me a call as soon as you get this message so I know everything's okay? Bye.
Scientists have confirmed that the killer virus
Lady.
with more than 200,000 deaths in the Far East already. Many fear we are facing a plague of pandemic proportions.
Boarding gate for flight 2 to New York is now closed. Repeat, boarding gate is now closed.
The last time Britain had to deal with a mass outbreak was when Spanish flu broke out in 1980.
That made the bubonic plague, the Black Death, almost look like a picnic.
It was the end of World War I, and millions of soldiers returning home were spreading the disease worldwide.
One of the classic outbreaks was a group of South African soldiers who returned home to Cape Town on the boat. They tried to quarantine them because they knew that this infection was already on the move. But how can you quarantine a group of 19-year-olds who'd survived? They wanted to go home. They wanted to go home and see their mothers, their girlfriends. They took the Western Railway line up the western coast. They took the sidings. They got home. When they got there, their parents called a party. It was the homecoming party. They would invite their friends and neighbours from 10 miles away. They came by horse and cart. But that weekend, this virus spreading up the railway line exploded and 250,000 people died.
In the space of 1 year, the total number of deaths is still inconceivable.
We don't know, even all these years later, exactly how many people died. I think there's a consensus of 50 million, but the upper limit might reach even 90 million. Certainly the older figures of 20 million are just too low.
And experts predict that there will be another worldwide pandemic.
We are sure that a pandemic of influenza will happen again. It is not science fiction. It will happen.
Flight UK 555 to New York is now boarding. All passengers please make their way to gate 30. Thank you.
As officials urge the people of London not to make any unnecessary travel, the police force is preparing to close down major thoroughfares to and from London, effectively quarantining the area.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached our cruising altitude of 40,000 feet. We expect to be landing in New York in about 5 hours' time.
After a suspected outbreak of the killer virus in a hospital in Vancouver, the city officials are urging people to stay indoors for their own safety.
If you have any of the following symptoms, high chills, shivering, or severe headaches, you are asked to stay indoors and call the emergency helpline now appearing on your screens. Repeat, stay inside. Do not attempt to leave your homes.
The government is now imposing army roadblocks around London to try and halt the exodus. Suspected cases in the capital have now risen to over 100 since the flu-like disease was identified. As a result, services are closed. People are advised to stay indoors and avoid making any non-essential travel.
Due to recent information regarding the spread of the flu-like virus in Great Britain, the U.S. government regrets it has no other option than to quarantine all inbound flights from the UK. This is a safety precaution due to the highly contagious nature of the disease.
Despite warnings to stay indoors, many families are still trying to leave the infected areas. But with petrol stations closed, some people are resorting to stealing cars in order to flee the city.
The death toll in London is now suspected of having reached over 1,000 people. This brings the total world casualties to over 300,000.
All remaining residents are reminded that criminal offence.
This is your captain. I'm sorry to have to inform you, but the airport authorities here at JFK have quarantined this aircraft. So please keep your seatbelts on and remain in your seats. An isolation area is being prepared, and shortly you will be escorted from the aircraft.
As the virus spreads worldwide, the army have taken control of central London, limiting heavily the movement of people in the centre of the capital.
In the last hour, France, Spain, and Canada have also reported suspected cases.
The government has urged people to stay indoors as the worst-hit cities of London, Manchester, Edinburgh, and Belfast are effectively quarantined. Security forces have been instructed to halt all travel in and out of these cities. And is still growing.
Repeat, stay inside. Do not attempt to leave your homes.
All hospitals in the public sector have now created additional isolation rooms and wards. The City of London is effectively closed for business. The army are monitoring the supply of food to local supermarkets as fears rise that the death toll could surpass 100,000.
It's not a question of, is there going to be another pandemic? The answer is yes. There will be another outbreak. The only thing is we don't know when.
Hi, Ernie.
The Deputy Director of the TBM facility was asked to assess the safety of the proposed experiments, the first of which includes colliding particles together at near the speed of light.
Early this morning, it was decided by directors at the TBM facility that the first of the particle experiments would go ahead today. Now, considering the public fear that has been generated by recent reports in the media, we would like to allay any concerns by adding to what many leading experts have already said, that the TBM particle acceleration facility is completely safe. We'd like to congratulate the team and wish them every success for the experiments tonight. Any questions?
In theory, anything is possible. I mean, theoretical science says all kinds of things, like there are parallel universes where different versions of our day exist. You could just as easily say the world would be destroyed by a giant meteor or a massive virus outbreak or something. They're far more likely.
Anyway, it's time for the news. We'll be back to that later.
Come on, lady.
Good morning. A powerful earthquake has hit the American state of Wyoming. Yellowstone National Park is the worst affected area. Major roads and highways have been torn apart by the tremors.
Local rangers are said to be working as fast as they can to try and resolve the problem. Numerous mild quakes have been recorded at Yellowstone over the past year, leading some experts to warn that more violent activity might be on the way.
Yellowstone Park in Wyoming in the US has millions of visitors every year, but not many of them are aware that underneath lies the biggest volcano known to mankind, capable of wreaking unimaginable destruction. It's known as a supervolcano. Like a normal volcano, a supervolcano begins when a column of magma rises from deep within the earth, but with supervolcanoes, rather than breaking through the surface, the magma forms a giant reservoir of molten rock and gases under the ground and builds up enormous pressures over thousands of years. The magma chamber beneath Yellowstone is 70 kilometers long by 30 kilometers wide and 10 kilometers deep. It is the biggest known to mankind. Its eruptions are thousands of times more powerful than a normal volcano. If Yellowstone goes off again, it will be catastrophic for the US and eventually for the entire world.